trap? Mice. Mice get in and steal all your bait. What we're going to do is put a little bit of bait in the bottom of the trap. Set this on the tailgate of your pickup, on your workbench. Preload every trap you own. You preload the day before season or a week before season. Okay, that's step one. Now, next thing, there's 5 things to look at. How easy it is to set. Just with one finger clamping pressure, you can clamp this down, get that lined up, and now it's set.
Oh, you don't. Is that like a safety, the notch?
No, the safety is not a knot. Is not a safety. What that notch is for, if the coon pushes in, the trigger falls in that notch and fires the trap.
I see. So it's push-pull.
Push-pull. And if it goes the other way, then it'll fire the trap.
I got you.
No, some people try to set the trap with that in there in the notch and it will not work that way. So, okay, now you got that trap set. That's the second thing. The third thing is, when you stake it down, just stake it down at a slight angle, all your water will shed off the top of the cap. That's number 3. Number 4, here's a dog-proof trap, and now you got a dog-proof and mouse-proof trap. Mice can't steal the bait, can't lift the cap off. You had a coon will come around, smell all the holes, the coon will flip that off and get caught. And the 5th and final step, you can check every trap you have from the comfort of your pickup. You don't have to get out and look at it because you know right away if the cap's on it, the bait's in it. I throw 4 of these in for a bonus, being you came to the convention. I throw a trap setter in for free, and the traps sell for $135 a dozen. They're cheaper than the Dukes. They're way cheaper than the Dukes.
The Dukes are $128 a dozen.
Oh, 120. Okay. Okay. Well, they're real close.
They're pretty close. Yeah.
They're pretty close.
I like the push-pull.
Push. Yeah. Well, just take one feature and say what's the push-pull worth? $2 to $3. A trap. So that's $25. You know, times 12. That's $25 to $30 more for this trap than what a Duke would be. Then you got the powder coating. You got extra swivels on it. You got a better staking system. This is what a lot of people don't realize, is how much better this trap will stake than my competitors. And I'm not running them down because they've caught thousands of coons. You can't argue their success.
You just got the better mouse trap.
Yeah, just feel how solid each one of those traps. Just wiggle a little bit.
Yeah.
Big difference. That little bucket moved when you did that. What happens is the coon will come up and they'll do the same thing. He'll wiggle them out, tip them down, put the bait out. Well, with mine, being it don't move, the coon's committed. He's got to put his foot down there and get caught.
I see.
That's with the different staking system. Another thing you do with mine, you know, if the ground gets froze and it's hard, that stake's hard to put in. That's impossible to put in or take out. So when the ground's really rock hard and frozen, you only put the stake in this far. That's far enough.
Right.
Another feature I got is if you want to take and work around a den tree inside of a barn, somewhere where you normally can't stake a marble trap, a DP anyway, you just drill a hole in a den tree, an utility pole, any place you want to drill into wood, that trap will
nail it.
And just nail it, staple it. If you want to take and go a step further, I like to work around bridges, culverts, box culverts. So I'll drill a 3/8 hole in a box culvert. There's my set. I'll drill another hole here. That's my anchor. Set up right there.
Gotcha.
So, to set the trigger on the Z-Trap, this is your trigger, this is your dog. You want to set the trigger at the very end of the dog. And we'll do that right now. We'll squeeze the trap down, get the trigger lined up to the end of the dog.
So you're not putting it in the notch?
I'm not putting in the notch. You put it at the very end of the dog. Because when that trigger gets set off, when the coon pushes down, the trigger falls into the notch. And that's what sets the trap off. That's on the push down. On the pull up, the trigger goes the other direction. That's the pull. If you set it in the notch, it won't do nothing at all.
So whenever it's like a safety to set it at home?
Yep. Now you can set some of them at home, but I never really built it as a safety. I wanted it to be just a notch for that trigger to go in, because if you hit safety all the time, somebody come around and set all your traps on safety and you'd never catch nothing the whole season long. So I always set mine.
Trappers wouldn't do that to another trapper.
Some of my competition would.
So just on the end, just where it's in between the notch and the very end of the dog, and it's good to go.
Yep, just like that. And we got a better example. We'll use a white trap, so you might even see it better yet. Set it down, get the trigger right at the end of the dog. So the notch is fully exposed. That's where the trigger to go fall into to let the trap fire. That's on the push down. On the pull up, the trigger to go towards you, and it's going to fire the trap that way. That's how push-pull works. The trigger is not supposed to go into the notch. It's supposed to be at the very end of the dog, just like that is right there.
Well, I think that'll stop a lot of confusion.
Yes, I hope it does.